Just Buggin. Hey guys, it's G-Man with Just Buggin. The day has finally arrived. I know I've been waiting for it. The new motor, freshly rebuilt with a brand new case, is going into the 1972 Super Beetle. So we can get a move on this car and get it out of here. All right guys, look at that baby. Doesn't that look sweet? Yeah, it's up in there now. I've got a few things to hook up. I still got to make sure the ignition works and going to pick up a new battery for it. So that's it for the motor install in the 1972 Super Beetle. That's a wrap, the Just Buggin style. Hey guys, check that out. Isn't that just sweet? Oh my God, it looks so good. Look at that. I'm still gonna deal with these vents. It doesn't have heater boxes on it, so I'm gonna close these up. And then I'm gonna pull this back out. I put it there to better put the wires in it and everything. And I'm gonna pull it back out. And I painted the trim piece to go in there. That is gonna look sweet. And I'm thinking about, I don't remember exactly what that was, like hazard lights flashing or something. I'm thinking about taking this and customizing it and putting a USB port there, or maybe two of them here. I don't remember what these lights were for. Stupid me. But I think that's a great idea. The cigarette lighter was here. Like, no sense in having the cigarette lighter. I put a USB in it. Or I could do that right here, but yeah, it looks sweet. And yeah, I've got the piece of plastic that frames this out, and she will be having a stereo put in it, possibly one that looks vintage, but it's modern. I'll cut that out last. All right, looking good. I'm really happy with the results. I'm sure you all see it too. As you can see, I've had the Portawalls installed to the front tires. You take the other two in there. It can only fit so much in my Challenger. Here's what they look like when you first get them. So I'll be putting the Portawalls on the back. And as you can see, I've got the dash in here. That is a really nice reproduction. Much better than the actual one that was in here. I mean, it looks just like it. Really looking sharp. It's gonna be a beautiful car. Look at that beautiful thing. Yeah, the ductwork is just in here for looks. You don't want this car to look like an older than it was, but these have plugs in them, and these are just going in there just for look. That's all. I'm gonna get this started and running in the car today. So I've gotten some progress. As you can see, I got a gas can here because I'm still making sure all the electrical works, and it's much easier with the fuel tank out of the way. First, I go to hook it up and crank it up, and the ignition, it wasn't sending all the voltage back to the starter. I searched and searched, and I finally found it. It was in the harness. It had apparently got hot before, and there was a short to ground happening right in between here. So I spread them out. I'm gonna put some liquid tape on them, put some sheathing back on it, and then I get to seeing if it's charging, and the light won't go off up there. So I look it up, on the internet, and they say to convert it, it's easier just to run the positive which is the B plus, and run it to the starter, direct to the starter, which is going to the battery. And then I cranked it up again, light still stayed on, 11.9 volts. I'm like, it's still not charging. So I took the wire off up here on the generator light right there. It's the one on the right, if you're facing the back of the gauge. And I ran a jumper wire all the way from there, and then I stuck a wire on, I think it's the D, hit on the small one right here, and then hooked it to my jumper wire, cranked it up. The light came on when the key was on, and then put it in run position. It goes out, and it come back on just for a second, and it goes away. So it energized it, come back here and check it, 3.6 while it's idling, 14.2 when I revved it up. So took care of my charging problem. I started to get some of the lights working the other day. Still have some issues in there, and I still have to put the hazard light and a switch back together. It's separated, but it still works, but it just won't hold it. Here's the plastic part with all the contacts, and then the metal light box that it goes in just released itself. I just need to put a little bit of glue on it and glue it back together, because it worked when I put it together. So I've got underneath it and hooked everything up. Got to hook the clutch up and with the wing nut and get it adjusted. Check the gear oil where I left off on that. It's a refreshed transmission. Hooked up the ground strap. I still got to figure out why I can't get the left side part emergency brake cable out. I want to replace that. I guess the tube's bent a little bit and the rod won't come out, so I got to figure that out. So I'm gonna hopefully get this thing back on the road real soon and get it out of here. This is a part that you don't know how long it's going to take because of all the electrical issues and making sure everything works. Boy, she's a beaut. All right, guys, here's where I'm at on the 72 Super Beetle. Of course, you see all the carpet and headliners done, and the dash is almost done. I have all my knobs in here. I was gonna put USB up here, but I decided not to. I'll do that somewhere else. Maybe put one in the glove box. I gotta put the knob back on there. And I got with my lights, put the red film that goes on there and the one for the blinkers. The green one's gone. My flashers work, and you can see I got my gauge lights on. The park lights, those are brand new lenses. I don't know what the hell happened to headlight, ground issue or something. It was working. I got my tail light and my blinkers are all working. That really looks nice. So I don't know what's up with the headlight. Just a ground probably. But I've got to install the fan assembly. I've hooked up the switch and everything, so I'm gonna find my best fan and housing and all the hoses and put the fresh air fan assembly in there. And then I'll install my shifter with the new boot and knob. And I've still got to get this park brake cable out. For some reason it's hanging up. So that's where I'm at. It's really coming along. As soon as I get done with that, then I can put the fuel tank in after the fresh air handlers in there, or air box, and get on to the drivability of this so I can get it out of here. I want, and I'm going to, get it out of here next month. So I've got several projects that need to get out of here next month. So gonna be busy before I take in any more cars. This just goes to show how anal I am, I've been told. Yeah, I could have bought another steering wheel, an aftermarket grant or something, but the young woman that's getting this car is kind of with some custom enhancements, you know, but to try to keep it along the lines of being, to look, you know, it's year. So I want to keep it with an original steering wheel in it with an emblem and the horn button, but I want it to be like new. So, you know, these all crack right around the edges and everything. So this is my final fill. I've been filling it for a little while. I mean, I've got some hours in this steering wheel, but I want it to look really nice, and I want the original look inside, just with slight custom enhancements, like the dash inserts are painted the color of the car, you know, and it's a brand new dash pad. So, you know, I want a brand new boot and a nicer knob, and the stick will be painted the color of the car too. So nice little enhancements, but I still want the original look in there, you know. So that's what I'm shooting for. That's why you see this car hasn't left yet. It's just actually spending more money on it, and it's already sold, but it's all about the final product, and it's not about me making a profit. That car has already made me a profit, being an example of my work, and customers, potential customers come in and they see that, and they just can't walk away. They just realize that I am very particular about what I put my name on, and I only try to achieve the best of that is possible for me, or, you know, I think I do a great job, and the people are willing to wait for my work. There's only one of me, and trying to find extra help, but just doesn't seem a lot of people want to do this. There's not a lot of them out there even willing to train. You know, Azariah shows the urge and the motivation to learn, so that's looking good. That's a good thing. He's a young man that sees the potential in having these trade skills, and it's exciting with the cars that we're doing, I'm sure. And eventually I'm going to teach him how to drive a stick, like Dalton taught him. All my kids can drive a stick. Alrighty, well, that's where I'm at. I'm going to continue to sand this down, and then I'm going to prime it and sand it down again and paint it. There's a lot of work to keep an original steering wheel, but it's the look I'm shooting for. And as you can see, I've been trying to restore the cracks out of this steering wheel. I want an original one. You know how they really have large cracks and everything in it? It's I've almost got them out, but it seems they come back with a small crack there. But I'm gonna try something different on it. A little short strand, dig them out a little bit with a pick and put some short strand fiberglass on it and see how that works out. And then I finally got into the park rack cable that kept hanging up inside the tube. It was all bent and tweaked. Yeah, just see, I just got that out. And I'm gonna install a new one. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna hook up the clutch cable, make sure everything is all hooked up down here, and put the shifter in it. And I wanna get ready to get this thing moving. And of course I need that steering wheel finished and painted so I can put the steering wheel together. Got all the electrical done. I still gotta look at the front left headlight. It's a ground issue. It's happened a couple times, and I put it back together. And so I'm gonna get in there and do that again. So trying to get this thing all together so I can get all the brakes finally adjusted properly and bled to, you know, I did it with the pump. I like to finish it off with somebody at the pedal. So I'm gonna do that all and get the brakes adjusted, get the front end alignment as close as possible, start doing some road testing around the neighborhood with it so we can get this car back on the road. It's a beaut. I need to get this out of here. It is August 1st now, so this thing needs to get out of here before the end of the month. We got some new reflectors coming in for the rear tail lights, so I've got to take these tires in and get the Portawalls put on the rear tires. I hear that it's better if they're the ply tires, 2-ply tires, than the radials. They start to show marks in it. I don't know why, but you see that, if you look on the other side, that's where the lettering is on the radial. So I haven't tried to clean it off or anything. It doesn't look like it's going to. It looks like it discolors the white, but they still look fine. We'll see if some cleaners will take it off, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about that. So it still looks sharp as hell. So I'm gonna get on with installing the new one. I just gotta go dig out the crates with the parts for this car. All right, guys, I have my new brake cable, or park brake cable, should I say. And we're gonna replace it so we can get the new park brake chrome lever installed with a brand new boot. And then I can get to the shifter with a brand new boot. All right, this is how it goes. Interesting. And then this goes on here, screw it over here. All right, so that goes the old one. See how difficult this is to fish in here. It fits nicely in there. Okay, there's a hole somewhere on this thing. Oh, there it is. Sometimes it's kind of a pain to get this up in here. This little, it's supposed to go right there. There'll be some tension on it when I put it up there. And you get the handle hooked up. Not bad, not bad. Come on, gorilla fingers, don't fail me now. All right. Not bad, not bad. Brand new park brake cable. The other one's fine. All right, let's go inside and see what we got here. All right, there she is. How convenient. A pair of needle nose. All right. Why is that so tight? That's a good question. I may need to go to the other side and see why that other cable might be stretched. Huh. Yeah, it's got spring to it. All right, we'll see. I have to, I'll replace. You have another good one. Let me check it with the link to this one. I might have another new one. All right, well, that's where I'm at. Get my lever, park brake lever, and get on with that. As you see, I've got my new park brake cable in here, all assembled. I'll tighten this up, put a carb pin on it later. Looks nice under here. Just need to get this retainer into the hole. All right. Cable's right where it needs to be. Got it somewhat adjusted here, but I'm gonna wait until I do the brake adjustment, do the final. I've got my shifter boot here, but I've got to find the one for the park brake. It's in one of my boxes. All right, well, we've got a new park brake cable in there, and let's get on with it. All right, that looks really nice, especially without the heater controls. I don't really put them on over here in Florida unless somebody asks, you know, or they have heater boxes on their motors. If they don't, what's the sense? Oh, yeah, knobs in there. All right, well, that's next. So it cleans up nicer. Another shifter knob somewhere I ran across. And clean these up and get ready to put that shifter in here. Shifter in there, the shifter boot cleaned up nicely. I'm gonna use some black paint plastic and paint the knob, make it look nicer, newer. And then I've got to get around to painting the steering wheel. I need to put that glove box knob in there, and got my shifter coupler hooked up. Need to fasten the access panel down and get underneath the car, hook the clutch cable up, adjust it, start checking out the functions. Surely going to end up adjusting the shifter, and then we'll get on with the brakes and everything. One more time over the electrical and before I put in the fuel tank with the sending unit in it and all the hoses and vapor lines. So it's getting closer, guys. I've got to get this out of here in August. I've got too much stuff coming in and scheduled to be into restorations. I'm going to be doing a lot more metal work, trying to break up the monotony. I've got several motors in rebuild, so we'll be backing down with that and doing more, getting a lot of these customers out of the way that have some metal repairs and paint and body. I can only do so much, so that's where I'm at now. All right.
Hey guys, it's Dalton. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and have a just buggin' of a day.